Okay, funny story. My wife was listening to my podcast the other day. Yes, she does that. And she said, "What's this thing called Whatnot you keep talking about on your podcast? Are you shopping without me?" Yes, I am. I'm cheating on you. It's called Whatnot. It's live shopping with chat, and it's a lot of fun. Look, I coach a lot of people online. I coach people to make money online. Most don't know how to do it. And I have been telling a few lately to go to Whatnot, see what they're doing, and give it a try. If you're a Whatnot seller, you really shine, and your people find you. And that's a big deal because if you're selling online, they need to find you for you to make money, right? And then they become repeat customers because they see your face, not just your logo. Whatnot is the largest dedicated live shopping platform, whether it's beauty, it's collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies. Yep, cookies. Sellers are building real thriving businesses. Anyone can do it too. Some people on Whatnot are selling, get this, 10 times as much as they do on other major marketplaces. And you don't know this, but Whatnot buyers spend more than an hour on the app every day. They're not browsing. That's why they call them buyers. They're buying your stuff. So here's how it works. You go live, you showcase your products, and you earn real income. Search Whatnot, Whatnot, in the App Store, download, and you can start selling right away. So I've been talking about the glasses I ordered from Zenni Optical, my sponsor. Now, I've never ordered glasses online before. I didn't trust it, to be honest. But mine had a scratch, and Zenni was my sponsor, so I kind of sort of had to do it, right? I mean, I can't tell you about it if I haven't done it. So my previous thinking was, prices are too cheap. These can't be good. I'm not going to like them. I'm picky. I take that back. Mine costs about $70, and I can't tell the difference from the $500 pair I purchased 2 months ago. By the way, my wife likes them too. She said they look good on your face, and I want some too. And at about $70 or less, I can buy them. I am surprised, and I'm a customer. Zenni Optical has prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, all starting at under $30. Go to Zenni.com, pick a frame, upload your prescription. They'll ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And Zenni has that virtual try-on, so you can see exactly how the frames look on your face, and that is very cool and confidence building. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now it's time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out pretty quick, so don't sit on this. Go to Zenni.com/podcast, promo code podcast15. How are you? Well, welcome to Freedom Week. Although we're talking about freedom for you, not just freedom for, governments and countries and things like that. Freedom for you, we'll talk about that as we roll into it and talking about peaceful base all week long.
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
It is the Daily Boost from motivationtomove.com. How you doing? So good to have you here today. Thanks for coming in. This is Independence Day coming up this week. Oh, man, I'm not going to see a fireworks show. I do sometimes. When I go to Virginia, I'll probably be in Virginia this year, see my mom. You know what they do? They jump in the truck, they drive down to the parking lot next to the fairgrounds, and they sit in like the Walmart parking lot, and they sit on the hood of the truck. Yeah, it's Edinburgh, Virginia, and they watch fireworks there, and then they get home real fast. But where I live here in Port Orange, Daytona, you're not home for an hour and a half after the show because there's so many people. So I'll probably stay home and see if I can see it from home. There it is. I see it. Boom, boom. I hear it. Do you do the same thing? I think we all do. Besides my bedtime, it's like 9:30 anyway. I like to get up early. What can I say? I'm happy you're here today. Motivationtomove.com is where I spend my time. And I'm here. I'm pre-recorded, by the way. I'm working this week. Then I'm taking the week after 4th of July off and just going chilling for a little bit. See my mom, who's 94. And that's what you do when you got a 94-year-old mom. You go see her. But this week, I want to chat a bit about making freedom for yourself. Now, this is something I've been talking about a long time. In the online world, you hear it constantly. I'm a freedom guy. I'm a freedom junkie. That's what I do. Now, what does it mean? Well, honestly, what it means is I kind of want to do with my time what I want to do with my time. For my job, this is my job. For my business, I like to do the things I want to do. It's like, I don't like to be told what to do, and I don't like to have to do it your way. And if I don't want to get up on a Wednesday, then I don't want to get up on a Wednesday, although I get up very early on Wednesdays. I just want the freedom of choice to do that, the ability to grow, the opportunity. And a long time ago, I was very young. I was probably 20 years old, and my brother, less than that, I was about 18. My brother dragged me into an office in just outside of Washington, D.C. to help for the day and make some money. And they were all sitting in cubicles, and they were all just boring. And I had a little radio on, and they said, turn the radio off. We can't concentrate. And I made up my mind that day. I said, I can't do this my whole life. I can't. I don't care what they pay. I don't care what the benefits are. I can't do it. Freedom is very important to me. And there's a price to be paid. There's always a price to be paid in freedom. I run my own business, which means that I have to pay myself and everybody that works with me. and for me. I had to pay them. There's a price to be paid for that. Any business person knows that, but I've accepted that now full-time, completely paid my own way, my own business now, I think almost 30 years now. A long, long time. So freedom, there is a price. But there is a personal price as well, beyond, just kind of deciding to be bored at the office. There are some things you have to do to get that freedom. And this is where people fall apart, because what ends up happening, and I've done this so many times, tens of thousands of coaching hours, people come rushing in and they want to stack. They come in and say, Scott, I want the freedom thing. I want more freedom, flexibility. I'd like to get a better job, make some passive income. They come in wanting that thing. I said, great. Well, let's go ahead and fix the base here. They're like, well, that's okay. I'm good. I'm good. And what happens is they're so overburdened. They're so paying attention to everything else. They never get to what they want. And they false start all the time. It's a simple matter. You just can't do it all. I know you may not like to hear that, but if you're kind of person who gets me, really gets me, you know that I'm saying the truth right now. And if you ever get on the phone or a Zoom call with me, this is what you'll get. Direct, truth. I'm not going to be mean about it. I'm just going to tell you how it is. So yesterday we talked about the peaceful base and the very first step, revealing the patterns. Basically being aware, right? Being aware of what's going on inside your life. That's kind of what you have to do first. And you got to stop and pay attention, right? You do. Next, we have to figure out who we are. So what ends up happening is when we start paying attention to the patterns, we end up having the ability to construct what I call a who I am document. I started to do this a long time ago because I wanted a document that basically, that sounds silly, right? Where I stated who I am, my values, my beliefs, sometimes even what I like to wear or what kind of music I liked. I mean, it gets that basics. I don't do that much anymore because I kind of know that stuff now. But early on when I was, I like to do it this way. I like to work these hours. I like to work out this way. I found that when I wrote it down, it was like a declarative statement of who I am, and then I would stand by that. And that way, when somebody tried to pull me off track, I didn't have to get mean or get defensive. I just knew it wasn't for me. It's like if I walked into something, do you say yes too fast and no too slow? Do you do that? Do you start too fast and exit too slow? I think the thing to do here is to say yes and to start very slowly, really think it through. And then, boom, if you decide, then you're in. And then if you're in and you finally realize, wait, this is not working out, you want to exit quickly. You don't want to draw it out. If you worked a corporate job that has been strangling you forever and those corporate handcuffs have got you, you know what I mean. Yes, I said yes really quick right out of college. Here I am, and now I won't leave. There's so many examples we could give. Slow to the yes, fast to the exit. That's what you want to do. So as we begin to do that, if I had that in my who I am document, I would know that. I would know whatever I'm capable of doesn't mean I have to do it just because you think I can. So I'm going to name myself. I'm going to have an anticipation list of things I want to be doing. I'm going to take all my data from my diary and look at that. And at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to look at a list that's going to say, Scott, this is who you are. If somebody asks me who I am, I can tell you. I can tell you a lot of things right off the top of my head, more than most people can. If I were to ask you who you are, here's what you would say, 80% probability. Good question. You might say, haven't thought about it.
The new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire. The human postponer. They were the master of one phrase. I'll circle back on that. But 3 months later, you were the one doing all their work and wondering how big that circle is. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can take the hiring load off your plate by automating the hiring busy work from the initial job post to scheduling interviews. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
If you're really trying to divert, you might say, well, isn't that what I'm working with you? I mean, you're going to help me figure out who I am. You might say that. Tell you, I've done this 1,000 times. If you don't know who you are, nobody else knows who you are either. And in the world we live in and society the way it is today, there's a lot of pressure out there to be somebody else. A lot of pressure to act like somebody else. And it gets confused as like, be a good person, do the right thing. Are you doing the wrong thing because you just decided it's not for you? Are you doing the wrong thing? In some people's eyes, yes. Because when you say no to somebody else, they're like, wow. You're saying yes to yourself. They're like, what? You interrupted their ability to do what they want to do. A good example is somebody sees you. Let me ask you a question here. Who you are. Who you are. I've talked about this many, many times. You can be a lead singer or you can be a band member. A lot of people argue with me. Well, the lead singer is part of the band. That's true. Absolutely true. And the lead singer could probably play the keyboards and probably play the the drums and probably could play a bass line or probably could sing backup. And they may even do it 1 or 2 times. But then they say, I got to get back on lead. If you're just in the band, you're like, I'm just back here. Put me on the back line, leave me alone. Okay, either way, it's what you are. But if you're a leader of the band, if you're a lead singer, if that's who you see yourself as, that's all you're going to do. If you see anybody who's really achieved something great, you'll realize that they saw themselves, they named themselves, and they did it till they got it. And they got dragged down the path that everybody else got dragged down as well. And yet they understood as soon as they caught themselves, they got themselves back on track. They just blocked it. Was there a price to pay? Yeah. Big price to pay. Sometimes you don't end up getting what you want for sure. But, if that's who you are, you got to do it, right? When I talk to people about freedom, I say, listen, I want you to do what you want to do. I want you to do what makes your heart sing for sure. But I also want you to make money. Why do I say that? Because too many people say, do what you love and you'll eventually make the money. That is bumpkus. It's not true. You decide to do what you love and you decide to make a great living at it, and that's what you get. And to me, personal freedom, you can't have freedom without having bank. You just can't. You just can't do it. All this freedom people want to have in retirement, they can have all the time in the world, which is the biggest asset most people want in retirement. You kind of carve that out. If you can, it's great. If you can carve it out like I did when I was young, fantastic. If you wait till you're 65, not so fantastic. But if you have all the time in the world and you have no money in the bank, do you have freedom? So you got to name who you are. When I roll through my day, when I encounter the thousands of people I will encounter in a year's time, and I have 1,000 or maybe 10,000 or 1,000,000 opportunities to go off my path, will I or will I not go off my path? Do I know who I am? Can I name it? And can I name it so clearly that they just get what you do? And they understand why you're not going to go any other direction. That's freedom, guys. And tomorrow, well, I was going to tease you and tell you what it was, but I forgot. I'll see you then.